Hey guys, just before this episode starts, just want to say a quick thing, which is that I broke my lens on this, so the focus is completely out on the main camera. Please ignore that. If you're an audio listener, it shouldn't affect you at all. If you're watching, that's kind of why it's out of focus. So now you know. So there we go. Enjoy.
Yes, crew, welcome back to episode 4 of Flares. This week I am joined by, as always, Jordan Riding, and our special guest this week is Dan Hester, the man himself. We're going to talk about a few things this week. We're going to talk about Tenacious D and the controversy they've been going through, a possible worldwide shortage in the internet, which caused some people to get denied for some festivals, and is Joe Biden really alive? We're not going to get political, but it's always good to speculate.
The answer may surprise you.
But yeah, Jordan, do you want to hit us up with this first Tenacious controversy?
Yeah, so when was it now? It was just before last week, week before. When obviously Donald Trump got shot in the ear in Pennsylvania, I think it was, at the rally, and it was either directly that night, it must have been that night, Tenacious D basically had a gig in America, and it was Kyle Gass's birthday, the bald guy on the guitar, and they brought some dancers on. No, I think it was like a giant robot on stage. I'm sure I've seen a giant robot like that on YouTube, and it did happy birthday, and he said, "What, make a wish?" And he said something like, "Don't miss next time." And everyone went, "Oh my God." And Jack Black was like speechless on stage. And then directly after the gig, Jack Black apologised on Instagram and put this big apology up and said, "There's no more, everything's on hold with Tenacious D at the minute. No tour, no creative plans and everything." Kyle himself put an apology out. He has since taken the apology down, I noticed, but he's been dropped by his agency and all that as well. So he's been kind of cancelled. And I mean, I feel a lot for the crew because they've all lost their jobs for the rest of the tour now. They were obviously, the Australian government were calling for them to be deported from Australia as well because they were in Australia at the time.
Oh,
so they were like,
why does the
these men
Australian
instantly.
government really give a shit about Trump? That's mental.
I don't know. So it's a shame for the crew and things from the tour, but I can sympathise because their livelihood's gone down the pan basically.
Well, there'll be
the
insurance and stuff like that in case that
Yeah.
happens, you know, for damages and stuff. But like, even then, it's just sucks a bit much that, you know, again, it might have been a bit too much because it literally probably happened about like an hour ago before the actual joke was made. Because I mean, ultimately, like from the stuff I've seen in like over the past week since it's happened, it's like people are like that. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I wish it had hit him" and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because normally, like, there's a massive thing in America when a candidate tries to get assassinated, like that candidate always wins. So, like, Reagan was a good example of that. There's another one that escapes my mind. And they win by a landslide, but the polling data doesn't show anywhere near of that as that with Trump, and that's probably because American politics at the moment is so. It seems like a bit of a thing of a race to the bottom, really. Who could be disliked the least? But
I mean, we're the guys to talk about American politics. We know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah,
This is a podcast.
Sat here in the north of England.
Nah.
But it spurred on lots of really funny things. So it was like what you were saying earlier. Is Biden really alive?
Yeah, because like I think I read something earlier today that was said that with what happened with Joe Biden dropping out and Trump being attempted assassination, nobody foresaw any of this coming a couple of weeks ago. So it's just like an American politics in free fall at the minute, which is
typical.
Well, yeah, it's like a TV show or something, isn't it? Something that's gone totally weird and.
It's one of them things. It's like what Lenin said, isn't it? There are decades where nothing happens, and then there are weeks where decades happen.
I like it. Yeah.
And we are in that week where a decade is happening in America, and it's fantastic. But to get less away from the politics and side of stuff. So, as anyone here, what's the most decisive thing you've probably said on stage? You reckon you could probably be cancelled over?
Well, I just get pretty pissy on stage with myself. I'm like performing, thinking this is going really bad. Then I'm annoyed at myself, and I take it out on the audience. I'm just really snarky.
So what have you said to him?
I'm more just like under my breath, kind of like, especially if like no one's really listening or something. I don't know. I'm just like
passive aggressive.
I'm really passive aggressive on stage. My stage part is so bad. Unless like the 2 gigs I've had where I'm like, hey, I'm playing well. Or, oh, nice. And then I'm happy with the audience. But yeah, I just get very snarky on stage, mate, because I'm like, damn, I'm not doing this song good. messed up the chord, and then I'm just like, oh, you want to hear another one, do you? Yeah, but you really liked that song, didn't you? Don't patronise me with your applause.
What about you, Jordan?
I mean, I don't really speak on stage.
No, you don't, do you?
To be fair, doing my thing, I keep it quiet, but I'm trying to think if there's been any with the bands before. There's probably been some stuff when we've been back in the surf band, the Badniks or something, but
there's definitely been something.
There will have been
that band has definitely said some cancelable shit.
Yeah, but there was it's like
Do they
another
have a
life
Twitter
now.
account?
Oh no, not back then. This was before Twitter, I think.
No, it'd be
good
like
for
the
them.
early days. That'd be the early. You were gigging in Blackburn. That's how long ago it was.
Oh yeah, we were doing the warehouse cellar bar above cellar bar and stuff like that. So
yeah, I've said lots of horrible shit on stage. I can't recall any of it.
That's why you decided to do a podcast. You're like, I need to get some of this recorded.
I know.
I remember some that when we were in college and we did the showcase at the warehouse above the cellar bar, there were one band called the Beavers, and they did a comment on stage, and I'm not going to repeat it, and I'll never forget it. It was
Just paraphrase
something related to Jade Goody, so I'm not going to go there, but I'll never forget. They just come on stage, and that was the first thing this frontman said, and then they just launched into this punk tune. I was like, what? Nobody knew what to say.
It's probably not a great question for a solo folk artist, a solo electronic artist, and me who hasn't played in a band on stage in 3 years. I said some ruthless shit on Pancake though. I'm sure I have.
Probably, yeah.
Definitely when I was frontman in that band. I'm trying to remember it. It's all just a fucking blur.
Yeah.
I don't know. Regardless, moving on swiftly even to the next topic. Some of you might have seen, some of you might have struggled. I, for one, struggled this week with it. There has been a massive internet shortage because Microsoft fucked something up. So banks have been going down, phones have been going down. My phone has not even been working all weekend. I can get phone calls, can't hear them because everything was down. Weird as fuck. But there was some really bad things for some people, such as various festivals. There was one in Latvia where the whole festival was organised, everyone turned up and they couldn't process the tickets. So everyone just had to turn around and go home. Imagine.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So imagine looking forward to this festival and it being completely just destroyed and put down just because the ticket system's down. How mental is that? So did you guys get impacted at all by any of this sort of stuff?
Only in a very boring way, which is that one of our suppliers at work, who I order from, was impacted by it, so they couldn't process the order.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it was like a little drop of piss in an ocean of piss. So
It's a nice metaphor.
it's got to be. That's what.
New song lyric. Oh.
Yeah.
So
and that was it.
ocean of piss.
I know. Well, no, my sister got affected by it. She had to go over to hospital in Didsbury for something, and she got there, and it had been scheduled for about 3 weeks, and she went over with my mum. And when she got there, they were like, "Sorry, everything's fucked. We can't do the treatment today." So she had to go home. So my mum texted me going, "Have you been affected by the computers and the things?" I was like, "No, not really. Have you?" She's like, "Yeah." So it's kind of rough when it's affecting things in hospitals. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
What I can't wait for it in a year's time. Were you affected by the outage of 2024? Yeah. Have you got a claim?
Yeah.
I can't wait for the scam calls to come through.
You could get up to, you could get up to 1,000 rare Pepe coin.
Currency of the future, yeah.
But spurring on from that question, so what is the worst reason do you reckon you could be denied entrance to a festival? Or worst reason you have been denied to a festival, if you have been, or even an event, or even a gig venue.
Well, I've never been denied from one of you.
I don't think I've been kicked out of one in Blackburn.
We got kicked out of one when we had a band with a 17-year-old lad and they didn't realise he was 17 and they kicked us out.
Thirsty Scholar.
But that name is shamed. But
it is what it is. Fuck him.
And it was also 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because we're old as fuck.
Yeah, they just come and play. We told him, and their faces dropped like you just shit in the cornflakes, and it was just whatever. He wasn't buying beer.
Another good.
There were only about 2 people in. Who gives a shit? Fucking hell. And it was Sunday night or something daft.
It was a Tuesday, wasn't it?
Tuesday. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, I remember.
A few years ago when I went to, there was one in Blackburn. I think it was the Bureau.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It was in a church.
Yeah.
Might not have been a Bureau. And there was a night on with a bunch of bands and stuff, and me and my dad went and met my auntie and that there. And we were having a few drinks. We had a good time. They had all these bouncers on, I went to the toilet for a wee. As I was in the urinal, someone must have gone out the fire exit at the back of the building. When I left the toilet, the bouncer went, "Oi," like the boys, "Oi." No, he come to me going, "Oi, have you done this?" I said, "No, I've just been to the toilet." He went, "Yeah, you did this. You've got to go." So I got kicked out. Wouldn't let me back in. Trying to get in touch with my dad, and he was inside. He had no idea what was going on. He didn't carry a phone, I don't think, on him at the time. And he had to go home, and it was shit. All because some dickhead bouncers thought I'd opened the fire exit.
Damn.
So I think that's as bad as it gets. I've never been denied any kind of entrance to a festival or gig.
I don't think I've ever been kicked out of anywhere.
I'm always
God, this is the most straight edge podcast of all time.
So
Last week we were talking about like oh yeah, Kaylee, we're gonna make you a bondage music video. Like
we're always talking
all the
about
weird
Kaylee.
shit, all the Dave's Aquarium stuff, and then this is just like, have you ever been kicked out of anywhere?
Nah, we're
No,
good.
I've always said please. I've always thanked the bus driver.
Have you ever
I
drunk
never
alcohol?
actually do that. I don't thank the bus driver, me.
I do.
I feel like it'd be weird.
No,
You don't thank other people for doing their job normally.
sometimes you do. I thank the waiters at restaurants.
I'm just, I guess, I'm the bad boy of the group.
You are the bad boy
You're
today.
You're the vampire.
You're the
Thank
devil on
bus
the shoulder
driver.
today.
No, I've not been. I'm always worried that when I'm like going to, when I'm booked at a big festival, which I've never really been that big, but even just like decent gigs, I'm more nervous about when I'm going there than like getting on stage. I'm just like, what if I walk in and like they look on the list, I'm like, yeah, I'm here to play, and they're just like, oh, we haven't booked you. No, we went to the other guy. They're like, oh, it's next week or so. I'm just freaking out. Like so nervous before I get there. Not about performing, about that they're just going to tell me that I'm not actually booked. I'm way freaking out about that.
Oh man, that's happened to me. Not me, but I've seen it happen. Like we've booked a band like, and they've come a week early, because one of them wrote it down wrong, and they turned up, and we've got like a disco night on, and they're like in their like punk outfits coming through the door with the amps, and then the disco event people are like, why is there a bunch of punks here with guitars? And I'm like, you're right, guys. Yeah, we're playing tonight. I'm like, who are you? And I was like, no, that's next week you're playing. I'm mortified. They did stay and have a boogie though.
Ah, that's all right. They just change out from the punk gear to disco gear. And then like,
just put the things down. But oh god, everything's straight out. Why have we been invaded by 1,000 cats? Literally all at the same time. Are you actually allergic to cats, Dan?
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll find out.
We'll find out soon.
Find out. Stay
It's
to the end of the podcast to find
horrible.
out. Will Dan be on the floor having a seizure? Who knows? No, that and more next.
I did watch The Uncanny with Peter Cushing, which is about cats being like evil, demonic spirits from hell who control the world. And they've all just come in here and they're kind of keeping an eye on us.
Well, yeah.
They're actually all just staring out the window.
Yeah, multiversal beings.
Maybe something's going to happen. Sensing danger.
Sensing like we're going to get on some dangerous topics.
Yeah. And I feel like, Dan, you said you had a particularly good disastrous gig.
I don't remember saying that.
Well, I know Jordan's had a good disastrous
He
gig.
says hundreds. I just had weird
ones
things.
Ones he can talk about.
I just had many like annoying things. I had it wasn't even an outdoor gig, but it was like in summer and the windows were open. And like I felt someone kind of on the back of me and I was like, what the hell? And I was about to go on to perform and I was a wasp and it stung my finger. And immediately, like it didn't hurt that bad, but it swelled up and I just like couldn't bend it at all. And they're like announcing my name to perform for like an hour and a half. I'm just like,
the world's biggest finger.
It was like a main finger, and I was like, oh Jesus. I had to like tell them on stage, I'm like, this is gonna be really bad. I can't play guitar now. I had a lot of weird ones. I had like because it's probably happened to everyone if you're doing a gig and it's like a family friendly place and it's like a little kid and they come up to like this stage, there's no stage or there's a little stage and they come up and like start messing with the mic stand. And it's a bit funny and cute and everyone's like, ha ha ha. And that was happening at a gig. And it's quite early on in my set. And I was like looking around and like no one was stopping the kid. And it wasn't for like a minute, it was like 5 to 10 minutes and he was just right in my face. And I was sat down for it and he was just this like toddler age kid was like here and I kept grabbing the mic stand, pulling like the chords of the guitar.
You say this as the cat is about to fuck
I
up
know,
your
it
mic stand.
knows.
Yep. Literally, he's there.
But the thing is, you're here for the cat. I was in this gig, I was like, whose kid is this? And no one knew.
No one on dock.
No, and I was just like, what the hell's going on? And everyone started freaking out in the audience because there's like a lost kid just walked in this gig. Well, I don't know what the hell to do. And I was like, well, I'm gigging. I'm not sorting it out. But I was like, can someone...
Very convenient. Very convenient. You kidnap the kid. It's nothing to do with me. I'm playing.
I think parents are outside having a smoke or something.
We had a really good one. So for those of you not from Darwin, there's a event every year that happens called Darwin Live, where basically everyone in the town is allowed to drink on the streets and watch bands.
Normal Darwin.
Yeah.
No, and like drinking on the street is not like encouraging on. Surprisingly, but. Anyways, so me and him used to be in this 3-piece band, and in typical Darwin Live fashion, if you get offered a gig, you say yes. So we played about 5 gigs in the space of one day. We're just walking around, moving all this gear and stuff, and they were all going all right. They were quite funny and stuff like that. Then we got to this last gig. It was the Millstone back then.
I was going to say this one, yeah.
Yeah, this was fantastic because I'd never heard of anything like this. So we went on, started playing the gig, and the sound engineer comes over and whispers to me in the ear, going, "Sorry, mate, this is the last song. You need to go." I was like, have we done anything wrong? You went, no. We don't. We only book cover bands, and we thought you were a covers band. And we were like, fine. I announced it on the mic. Right, guys, this is going to be our last song. Apparently, they don't have originals bands on, so. And we'd accumulated like a crowd of like a lot of people.
It was all right,
we
wasn't it?
snowballed it. Like we had 2, then we had 3, then we had 5, 10, and then we must have had 25 people that were just following us around because we Pied Pipered them around. Anyway, we said this, we played the gig, right, guys, and went, no, carry on, blah, blah. And people just started kicking shit over, filling the trash and tables over.
And my amp died.
And your amp died.
And I had to walk off from you to finish the gig.
All our equipment broke because it's just been getting battered all day by all these gigs.
Which venue were this?
This is the Millstone. It's now Bee's Knees, yeah.
A classiest establishment.
But I remember,
really went bigger and better throughout the day.
We tried to go back in 2 weeks later, and the bouncer said to me, "No, you're not allowed in, mate." I'm like, "What? Why not?" And they said, "You incited a riot last time you were in." I'm like, "No, I didn't. I told them not to do that." And they went, "Yeah, but they definitely did do that." So you're not allowed in. I wasn't allowed in Millstone for I think about 2 years after that.
Like with the one earlier at Marigolds where we had a couple of people in the crowd get taken
out.
out.
I want to save that one because we're going to get Liam MacGyver on
We'll
it.
do that one, yeah. And he's just with that one on days,
I've asked Liam MacGyver to come on next week.
We'll cut that bit out then.
So we're going to save that one because he's the one that did it.
Cut that out of the final thing then, fuck it.
Be a tease for next week.
Yeah. But the Millstone, I remember, I was thinking about it the other day, that just... It would have been good if my amp hadn't broke as well. That's really put a sour thing on it. I was like, fuck.
I know.
Because we started off really well. And I thought, you know what, it's been a good day of gigs pretty much, and we could just cap it off nicely with this and have a right good night. And it just fucking didn't turn out that way, did it?
No.
Really bringing the boring vibes tonight.
Yeah.
No wild stories.
I know.
I like that one in America though, where there were that band, Brass Summit Against the Machine. It went Rage Against the Machine. And it was like I think it was called Brass Against the Machine or something like that. And they were a band, like a ska kind of band doing it, Rage Against the Machine songs. And a female singer, and she got some dude on stage who had a video camera strapped to his head and he led on the floor and she pulled his pants down and pissed in his face. And his hair going like that. And they got they were touring with Tool. And I think they got kicked off the tour straight after that.
I feel like Tool is like one of the few bands that would appreciate that sort of thing happening.
I don't know, I think they'd be like, you know what Tool are like, they're like a bit prestigious now.
See them now at this aquarium.
Oh, was it recently?
Hey?
Was it recently?
Yeah, it was like a couple of years ago, I think. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Quite recently.
They're a lot less rock and roll now.
Yeah,
Aren't they?
so they'd have been like, brother, ugh. I don't know how that was related to what we were saying.
So no pissing at any of your gigs? No, that didn't happen? No?
Not yet.
Oh.
I could work it in.
Yeah.
I'd get either someone gets on stage and now we on them, or someone gets on stage and they're we on me.
Well, it's a good thing because that leads very good into your current, most recently release of music on your OnlyFans. What updates have you got on your OnlyFans, Jordan?
I've not actually announced it yet. I'm a bit late with it. I have got a track on it.
You semi-have announced it because it was on the last podcast.
Semi-have. No, but and I put something on Instagram, but I've not properly set it off yet. I am building up a way to do it. There's an unreleased track on there though from the EP sessions, so it'll probably be this week. I just want the best way to do it.
And following on from that one, you got to check out this Friday. We have the final of our Salvage House launches, which is Jordan's or /Naut's. So make sure you check that out because it is a phenomenal one. It's another one of the interrupted 0 cuts because he just does one big set. There's no in between bits. So make sure you check that out. And that's another, again, segueing back onto Dan. You've released some new music, haven't you?
Have I?
Have you?
Guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, you have. Doug shouted out last time you was on.
Oh everyone's I have like a secret Bandcamp which I don't tell anyone about. Separate from my main one. I have a YouTube. I put a new song on that. You know, it's out there. I just don't use Spotify because I don't like it.
I don't blame you.
So
sorry, Taylor Swift. Jesus.
Taylor Swift's on Spotify,
me and Taylor Swift. People, I get compared to her all the time. You know?
I can see it, you know.
Yeah.
But you've also got that gig at the Rosemount as well.
Yeah, doing that.
What else is happening on that night?
You guys.
I know we're going to be there to video it, so we'll have some footage from that.
Oh, cool.
I will pull the date up for you since Dan can't. It's 29th of July. Make sure if you're in the Bake Up area, you can go to that. We are trying to branch out more closer into Bake Up as well. We've got a few things that we're teeing up, so stay tuned for that.
Bye.
With our secret gig series, the next few series now is going to be The Basement, which is what we filmed last week. That was a phenomenal gig, by the way. Thank you to all the people that came. It was really, really good. There's a few photos up. There's going to be some videos ASAP. So, and on that, there's not much left unless you guys have anything you guys want to bring up in particular.
I think that
Yes, no.
Just keep an eye out for all the forthcoming content. Yeah, it's going to be good, hopefully, with the rollout. And for anyone who missed it last time, I released a new EP last Friday. So there will be a link in the description section for more. So check it out if you can.
In the description.
Massively on screen, flashing in lights.
There'll be
Big version of me like, buy my EP, come on. Get me like another £3 so I can buy another Greg's
and then
breakfast.
I'll get all the monetization things from YouTube ruined because it's OnlyFans links.
No, don't give me OnlyFans. That's a secret one. You've got to find that. You've got to work for the OnlyFans.
I think you've got to work to get them on it.
Work that ass for daddy, as Mark Rebbe said. And I've got a cat over in my eye now.
Yeah, before they come back and finish the job. I think that's all we have for this week. So thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you again next time. So that's goodbye from me. That's been Jordan. That's been Dan. Make sure you follow us all. Don't be tight. Follow Firelit X on all the socials. And keep your eyes peeled because we've got plenty more coming back. We'll see you soon. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.